Welcome, everybody, to another coffee break. This is a special episode within this podcast where I have candid conversations with members of my team, our small but powerful team of creatives and designers, where we collaborate on a daily basis to run an online academy and a design studio. In these conversations, we talk about different topics that have to do with running a creative business. Sometimes conversations go around hiring and getting feedback, or working together, and other things that may come up as a team as we continue making projects together. Today, I'm going to have a conversation with Carla. She is our community manager and our academic coordinator. She's for the first time in the podcast today. So hi, Carla. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So Carla runs our community, and she manages our community, but she also hosts our community events within our online trainings. And she also coordinates all that has to do with trainings and workshops and, customer service. And of course, she interacts with our students on a daily basis. And today we want to speak about community and how important that is for any business, and especially for ours. So, Carla, what are we gonna talk about today? We normally start with a question that we want to tackle or answer during these conversations. So, what do you think would be a good question that we would try to answer throughout the podcast today?
Well, I think a good way to start would be maybe to talk about why it is so important to have a community for your student journey. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good question. So the question would be like whether it is important to have a community at all, or just precisely for our students. What do you think?
I would think we could start in a broader sense, like why it's important to have community, and then we can get into the student journey, if you think that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because I would say that I started really giving or assigning a value to a community when we started running the online academy, which was around 2 or 3 years ago. And I mean, we have been running trainings forever. Just a clarification here on our side. So Carla has been working with us or running our community for over 6 months or more, like actually now 9 months, right? So, so you joined the studio after or when we were already running our online academy. And before that, we have been running trainings forever. And like our trainings were mostly in person. And I have to say that I realized the importance of a community when we started working primarily online. Because before that, I have to be honest that without noticing, we actually built a community of students, because they were, everyone who was coming to our workshops or our seminars, they were keeping in touch, and they would meet outside of our trainings. But actually, we didn't have any specific platforms. Like once they came to our workshops, it was like, hey, goodbye and good luck, and maybe we will hear from them again. But there was no specific or like conscious effort put into building a community, right? And keeping contact with the students. Perhaps they were on our email list, but that was all really. And I felt that when we started the online academy, it was also in the same time that, or more or less in the same time that, the corona pandemic or the COVID-19 pandemic started. we realized, hey, we need to, we need to give support to our students. We noticed that our students were craving for connection. We were craving for connection as well. And also there was, because the things were happening online, there was a need for keeping them accountable because the distractions were more in a way. I don't know. Do you feel, is this making any sense? I feel that actually when you work, there's a lot of benefits of working online and being able to connect with our students online. But at the same time, I feel that a community becomes more relevant than ever because we are working online and because we know that our students are exposed to so many different distractions when they are not attending one of our trainings or when they are not watching one of our online videos or content. So how do you think that, or in your experience, perhaps you can say, like, how do you think that us having a community that is so vibrant helps our students?
I think first it makes completely sense that this need for a community was felt stronger when the pandemic started, because it's something that I think happened to all of us. Like, we started to need to connect with other people and we couldn't, and then we had to find ways. So I know the pandemic wasn't a good thing, of course, but if there's one good thing that came out of it, is that we understood the value in connecting with others, and I think that's something that is reflected actually in our community at Martina Flor Academy. That I mean, I wasn't before. I as you said, I joined the team when the online courses were already up and the pandemic was ongoing. But I saw it growing. I saw how the people started to interact more, and they, at first they were a little bit like interacting slower, and then they started to get like emotion, like they started to get excited about it and showing more what they did and asking for feedback. And then, as a matter of fact, they started to actually organize things themselves. Like there's one student, Stephanie, who has a weekly date with another student where they keep each other accountable in vectorizing, for example. So it's like we give them the space, and we make sure that it's a safe space, and then we bring new ideas to the table and new proposals and new things, and then they build up from there. They bring new things to the table, and then it's like it grows with them, I think. And don't you agree? Like we give them the platform, we give them the space, we create the opportunities, but then they are the ones that make it bigger and amazing and bring great things to the table, and it's great to see.
Yeah, and I love what you said. Like, I think that there's two things to creating, or at least to our community, and how great it is. I think we have had a learning curve in terms of like building a community that we can talk about that later as well, because our community now is not the same that it was 6 months ago at all. Like, but I think going back to what you said, I think there's two parts to it. Like, one, that you have the right people in the community, kind of like that we have this, like the perfect students, in terms of like we have managed to attract to our trainings the kind of students who want to learn from us. So that I think that's essential, that these are students that are motivating, that is are striving for a certain goal, a common goal, and they're all together on the same journey. I think we were like, it was, we did a lot of work in terms of like not just bringing anyone in, but just bringing like the right group of students. And they notice that because they can see each other, like they can they realize that they are on the same journey. And I think that makes a lot, like that, the students get along with each other, and this is why they start new things within the community, right? So on one hand is, that we have the right students, and on the other hand is that thing you said, that we give them this space, that we create like a safe space for them. And I think that sometimes we we not necessarily do this well, we do actually this consciously, but in the very beginning we were not conscious about like how important it is that we build a space and a container that gives them the space to create these things within the community, right? So to start these events or to start this meeting among students, right? So there's on one hand the students that are great and are our perfect students, and there's on the other side a container that enables that kind of attitude, right?
Definitely.
And what else about the community? What else can we highlight about what we can talk about a little bit about our learning curve in terms of how the community is and how we manage the community.
Of course.
How was it when you first came in the team? How was the community at that time?
Well, when I joined the team, one of the first like big goals that we set up was like build a kick-ass community. Like we already had it, but it was like build on top of it and make a wonderful space for the community. So that was like I would say one of the first priorities for our team and for my role. And I think the first challenge was to find the right platform for it, because we had our community on a Facebook group, and it was great while it lasted, but then we saw the opportunity to make something better and to give our students a safer place and where they could share their work and ask for feedback. So that was one of the main challenges, to find just the perfect platform for them, and I think we managed to do that like recently, and we have an amazing place now for them. And then just think about events and bring new ideas to the table, like the Lettering Pal event, for example, which is a pretty new experience we have, and where they get together to draw and they spent, I will tell it fast for those of you who don't know it, but it's an event where students get together for an hour. We draw, we listen to music, we keep away from distractions, and then they get together and give and get feedback. So the biggest, to go back to your questions, I think the bigger challenge was to understand the needs of our community and then build something great for them. Like understand that they need to connect, that they need a safe space, they need us to provide the opportunity, and then they will go from there. So I think I shouldn't be the one to say it, but I think we're we managed to do that in a pretty cool way.
We're doing it pretty
we
good,
are
I think.
great at what we do.
No, but I mean, it's true, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, for instance, like going back to the Lettering Pal events that I think are great events, and they're so simple in a way. It's just about, I think we noticed that one of the main challenges of our students was to, they will sign up to our courses or our online trainings, and they will often say like, oh, I don't have time, I don't find the time to produce work. So we actually picked up from that, and we created these events. And I think this is great when you create a container where the community actually brings or proposes, or in a way brings the information for you to make it better, and I think it was very clever from you as well to be very, very open to listen to these claims, kind of like to identify, hey, well, this is what the community needs, or being there in the Facebook group in the beginning when we had a Facebook group, being there and kind of like every day kind of reading to students' comments and getting feedback from them and kind of bringing it to our team meetings. So all of these things have to do with us also keeping in dialogue with our students, I think. We don't come up with these ideas just out of, nothing. We actually respond to things that we think our students need, and they tell us in a way. Perhaps they don't say it directly, but we definitely pick up on different things that the students communicate, and we turn it into an event or in a specific training or a workshop. So I think there's a lot of value in that, in also like listening to what the students have to say.
Yeah, and also
And
having this mindset like this, like you said, like we have a plan, we think this will work, and then we listen and we see if it actually works, if it needs some tweaks, if we need to adapt it. And it's a constant conversation. It's not like something that comes from our way to the world. It's like it flows. It comes and it goes, and I think that's very important in everything, but in community it's crucial that to listen to the feedback and to adapt, to be able to constantly adapt your plans and constantly create something that's actually useful and that actually brings value to the community.
absolutely. And I think also that the platform does make a difference. And I notice now that we have an awesome platform, like looking back to, we tried a few different things. Like we had this Facebook group in the beginning, which served us for a while, but we noticed soon that there was, you come into Facebook and you have so many distractions, like you can go so many directions. And then I think we realized through one of our trainings, or actually through our coaching program, I don't know if you remember, but actually our first experience with a new platform that was other than Facebook was with Live Now, our coaching program for creatives. And there, for the first time, we tried the Slack, and a private Slack channel for our group coaching program. And that works so well. Like, I think that experience was so positive. Like, students were really connecting. It was not just like going on Instagram or Facebook where you are super distracted. You just want to check like what's new and go away. I think that through that experience with the Slack channel, we realized like, okay, people is really engaging in conversations here. Like they come in and they stay for an hour and they really like post their questions or concerns, and they also give feedback. I think that was a really positive experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a more mindful experience for them. It's like I go into this platform to ask for feedback, give feedback, connect. It's not all the other things that happen on a platform like Facebook. So yeah, I think that I haven't thought of it that way, but I think that may have been the starting point of our need to find a better platform that's dedicated to that, to learning and to connecting and to interacting, and not all the other noise that's on a social media like Facebook.
Yeah, because I feel that now, like looking back, I feel that the fact that our community was hosted on another social media platform was that we were like increasing the problem. Like we had students who were having trouble to stay accountable, and they were having too many distractions, and we were taking them directly. Like, our community was embedded in this distraction, like this source of distraction. So it was in a way contradictory with all of the things we were trying to do with our community, right? Or the kind of like the reason why we wanted to have a community was totally opposite to the kind of platform we were using for it. And another thing I think that is important is that for us, I would say, is the community now has turned into perhaps the biggest value of the trainings we offer. And I think this is also something that I have realized together with you. Like when we made the decision of like bringing you in the team as well, like I think it was also a way of like realizing, well, I think the community is like the kind of community, the perfect group of students that we have is our biggest value. Of course, our trainings are awesome and our team is super friendly and like we have a great customer experience and all of that. but but I would say that our community is really like the biggest difference with that we have with other trainings out there or other, you know, online schools out there.
Yeah, I think that the community helps shift this mindset of the lone wolf that's learning an online course alone at home, and it's like, and trying to learn more and be the best. And it's like, yeah, you learn and you can be the not the best, but you can be great at what you do. But there are other people that are also striving to be amazing at what they do, and you can learn from them. And it's, you can also do that journey alone, and you will learn and you will acquire a lot of skills. But if you connect with others, it's not only great in a human sense that you will connect with others and you will find a lot of value in that, but it's also great for your skills, I think, because you will learn and achieve more if you walk together with others that if you just do it alone. And you get a lot of insights from other people and other perspectives. There's like, you only have one perspective in your life, and then you open yourself, in the case of our community, to other 300 perspectives that can only broaden your understanding of the world, of lettering, of everything. I think, I mean, it enriches everything, your view, and I don't know, I think it's great what you can achieve when you like to understand that you can achieve much more if you are with other people, if you join forces. I think that's one of the biggest lessons from community work. I think it's great for everyone involved.
Yeah, I think that's. Oh, I mean, you touch on the really like in a very important point, that the thing, like the concept of the lone wolf, which is so much, something that we all do as creative, or many of us creatives trying to get good at something or trying to acquire a skill. This is something we all tend to do in the beginning. Like we try to stay at home, sitting at our desk, trying to get good at what we are doing, trying to practice, and we forget that perhaps by interacting with others and getting and giving feedback, you can get there a lot faster. And I think that, you know, what I love about going into our community every day is that I see our students doing the work of a teacher. Like I see our students giving feedback as teachers, and I think that that is sorry, that is amazing. That is, you know, by exercising that ability of giving feedback to someone else, I think that they crystallize all the things that they have learned in our trainings, you know? And I think this is that's the best way of learning. And when I see a student giving feedback that I would personally give, I think like, wow, our work is done, at least a part of it, you know, like, and I think that, yeah, that's a great value of the community. The fact that you can take, as you said, like you can see other perspectives, but also you can prove yourself that you have learned. Like you can see by commenting someone else's project, you can notice like, hey, wait, I know about this, and this really builds your confidence as a creative. You know, I feel that being able to look at something and say like, hey, you know, this there's room for improvement here. There's especially in the lettering crits, I noticed this. We have also other community events that are these critique live sessions where we get together to give feedback to different projects. And essentially, I'm there to kind of moderate the event because it's the students who point out at different things that could be improved. And I just love that. When this happens, I realize like, hey, well, we have done a good job with these students.
Totally, totally, and I think that also, I mean, it's very important that they interact and they give and get feedback, and also like something we maybe haven't touched upon yet is the fact that they also keep each other accountable. It's that's a very important part of community as well, because if they did an online course alone, then how many times did it happen? I know it happened to me a lot of times that I started an online course and then I did like a few lessons and then life happened and I forgot, and then but if I had a community that was learning with me, that was there, if I had a question, and that would have kept me accountable, I think. And I think that's what happens in our courses as well. It's like there are other people that are doing it at the same time as you, and then you're not alone, and that helps not abandoning, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Like really, like knowing that there's people waiting for you in the community kind of drives you into the community and drives you back to the program, right? And I think that we really, this is in a way what really keeps our students success at higher rates, in the sense of like we like all of our students post work that they have produced throughout the course, and they are all producing work like they are actually, using what they learned throughout the program, and they get, they achieve their goals or the goals for which they first signed up to the program. So I think that the community plays a big role in like helping them achieve that goal. Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy because going back to your first question, like, is it important to have a community? Um, I think that I think we have answered for sure that it's very important, at least in our concept, in the kind of concept and impact that we want to make and the kind of transformation we want to create for our students. I think is super important, or is really in the core of what we do right now. Um, and I have to say that, I've been teaching online for many years, like more years than, I mean, before starting my own online academy, I've been teaching on other platforms and stuff. And I think that the big difference of what I was doing before and having our own platform with our own community, having you as a community manager really like makes the whole difference. And yes, and like I wouldn't trade that for, like, I think that this combo that we have right now is really like enables us to create the kind of impact we want to create, because we could actually put online courses out there and sell them, and that's all, like just run a business that is like that. But we really care about the students and we really want to see them succeed, and this is why we continue building all this stuff, because we know that it makes a difference, right?
Yeah, I think it cannot be unseen. It's like you said, like once you see it, you know the value in it, and then there's no turning back. Like I think now we know what it would mean for them not to have something like that, and it's like it's only like going forward from this and building on top of it, because it's really, it really brings a lot of value into their learning, into their student journey.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just love that you're managing our community, Carla. You do it so well. But also, I think that, I feel that also it's interesting because when I see our students interact on our community, I see the same kind of interaction that we have within our team.
Oh, really?
Like we have in a Slack channel for our studio team, And I love when I see, I don't know, Carla or Elias interacting with each other in the same terms that our students interact, like they give like positive feedback, and also like they are treating each other nicely, they encourage each other. And I see like the same thing happening on our community. And I think that there's something about the way we have built our team and the way we connect with each other, or we talk to each other, that really reflects in our students. And really, that is something I'm realizing now while we are speaking. But I think there's something interesting there that, in a way, our community also reflects our values and the way we are and the things we care about. Um, yeah, and it's super honest in that sense, and I think that I'm super happy that you are kind of representing that vision within our community. I think you do it great, and I appreciate it, Carla. I
Oh,
tell you
thank
here
you.
on the podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it as well. I hadn't thought about it that way, like our relationship with you and with Elias, and it's true. Like there's, I think it's this sense of growing together. That's there are no there's no competition, no weird things. Like when I give Elias feedback or he gives it to me, it's always to try to improve the work we're doing together, and it's done in a respectful manner. And I think it's manner. And I think it's exactly the same that happens in the community. That's true. So it must have something to do with the academy's vibe, and for sure with yours as well. Like it's this constructive place, and it's a place to build together. So yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way, but it's a really cool analogy.
I love it. I love it. So we normally do key takeaways on our coffee break. So what would be a key takeaway to answer your question of like, is a community important?
Yes.
I think. Do you have okay, key takeaway number 1, yes. Key takeaway number 2, yes. um, so key takeaway number 1 would be yes, and also I have to add to that, like, and the platform you use for it, or you build your community in, matters, right?
Yeah.
So yes, and building it in a platform that really boosts the kind of impact you want to have with that community and the kind of results you want to achieve with that community.
Definitely. And maybe second takeaway could be plan for your community, but also be flexible and listen to it, and listen to like feedback, and be willing to adapt your plans and constantly have this conversation with your community. So like, yeah, plan, but also be flexible and listen to your community.
Oh yes, I love that. Yeah, and key takeaway number 3 would be perhaps what we recently spoke about, like treat your community, and or build a community that kind of understands your vision, or speaks, or kind of connects in the way you connect with them, or like how would we, okay, how can we verbalize this, because it's an interesting concept, but I don't know how to put it in words, like
I think it could be like find the, like, I don't know what the correct word would be, but like your true vibe, or what's on the core of what you do, and then translate it to the community. Like, don't try to fake something that's not there, because then it won't work. It has to be honest. It has to be something that comes from within you. Maybe that's a way of putting it.
I love that. I love that. We had someone in the podcast, Dot Lang. She's a community manager as well, or a community expert actually, and she was speaking about the concept of like your vibe attracts your tribe. And I think that holds some true for us, is that really like the kind of vibe that we have as a team, as a business, as a project, really attracts the perfect students with the like great vibe that we like, that really mirrors what we do, you know. And I think there's, yeah, exactly. So I think there's something there that is super important. And yes, I think we had great takeaways from this conversation. I appreciate you taking the time today to talk about this, Carla. And I appreciate everyone listening. I'm forgetting. Speaking about community, if you want to be part of our community, there will be an opportunity to be part of our community soon. We are opening registrations for my signature course, the Lettering Seminar. This is an 8-week long course to learn to master the art of hand lettering. We have had over 300 students going through this program, and this is growing every year. So we are open registrations for this training soon. And to walk you through the program, we are offering a free masterclass. So we are inviting you to join this masterclass. If you want to know a little bit more about the program, go to martinaflor.com/lettering masterclass, and you can sign up for free to the lettering masterclass that is launching registrations for the lettering seminar. We are looking forward to welcome new students in our community. And Carla will be there waiting for you, me as well, and all of us in our team is going to be waiting for you. So remember, martinaflor.com/lettering masterclass to sign up for the launch event. I'm going to add this to the show notes. Thank you, Carla, for being there today.
Thank you for having me. It was really fun.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and see you on the next episode of Martina Flor Open Studio Coffee Break special episode. Yeah, see you. Bye-bye.